Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome. Today we're going to talk about proportional relationships. Okay, now this isn't going to get too complicated. This is going to basically be the intro version where we have y equals what's happening to x. Okay, they're going to give us tables and we're going to look for what? Patterns. Okay, now the thing is, we're going to be looking for something. If you remember this word from earlier in the year, multiplicative. Now I'll be honest, oh my gosh, I don't know if I remember hearing that word when I was in school, or I totally blanked it out. That's a big word, multiplicative. That just means that the relationship is either times or divide by something. So something's twice as big. We're not going to have plus an additive or subtractive. They don't have a word for that. Additive relationship means it's increased by adding or decreased by subtracting. They don't say subtractive and derivative. That sounds too much like derivative, maybe. Multiplicative covers being multiplied by or divided by a number equally, both sides. Okay, there's a pattern. So let's do a couple of examples. We're going to have some IXLs today. We are going to be working on 7th grade K2, and that's the title is proportional relationships. They're going to give us tables, and we're going to say, hey, what's happening? So if I had a table like this, and this was x, and this was y, and I saw that x was 10, this was 20, this was 30. Now some people might be saying, hey, it's going up by 10 each time. Well, no. They're looking for, and this is the key here. Let me get a different color to point it out. I don't know how good this marker is, but here's the key to the whole thing, ladies and gentlemen. Relationships. Okay? Y and X, or X and Y, however you want to say it, they're in a relationship. Something is happening between them, and that's what we got to figure out. You're the math detective, and we're going to figure out what exactly is happening between them. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. Let's take a look at the first problem. I'm going to jump a level each time to show you how it progresses in complexity, which it's really not getting that complex at all to get to the high level. See, the teachers, we have, I can't really show you. Let me tip it up maybe. The bottom here says skip a level, okay? So that's what I'll be able to do. All right. So for example, this is the opening problem, guys. I was going to try to write on the screen, but it's just slow and chunky, and it's a waste of time. So here we go. And I know some of my students on their Chromebooks, they wrote on this, and then you could erase it and stuff. But okay, so blah, 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 blah. You know, it's important to read the words and circle in case there's anything in there we need to know. But when they give you a table, they're already telling me what X and Y is. They're telling me what it represents, the amount of years and the number of megawatts. But all I'm really trying to do is find the relationship. So honestly, don't tell anybody I said this. You almost 99% of the time, you want to read what's going on, okay? If you're in a hurry, if it's a test, you should read it, okay? But I can tell you right now on this IXL, this is what all these problems are about. So they're just changing the topics and the subject matter, but all that really matters is for me to figure out the relationship, okay? So what is happening to change X into Y? Y equals what happening to X. So you would write it like this, Y equals what's happening to X. And when you look at it, What is happening from 16 to 16? Nothing. But it's got to be a multiplicative relationship. So what could you multiply it by and stay as itself? Okay, that's just 1. All right. So I'll be honest with you. Some people might write 1x. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if that's going to work or not. I did this earlier and I just entered x. Okay. Come on. Don't tell me I lost internet already. Come on. It looks like it rebooted. I have had some connectivity issues, guys. It didn't give me any kind of score. It rebooted. I lost it. But anyway, so now let's look at this one. What's the proportional relationship? Something is happening the same as we go, okay? Now, in some of the problems later, maybe something's happening, maybe it's not. It's a not proportional relationship, non-proportional. Okay, in these cases, 5 turns into 10, 6 turns into 12, 7 turns into 14. What could you see in between there? And like a lot of times I would just write what's happening. Well, it's times 2. Well, you got to check it all the way down. Yep. 7 times 2. Yep. If they're asking you, is it, what was the word I was looking for? Is it proportional or not? You'd want to check every single one because I've seen them on tests where the very last one does not work. So then, and actually it was on the challenge level of this the other day. I was playing around doing some problems. So on this one, it's 2x, okay? I would write 2x. And then submit. Oh, I had put a colon. That was a typo. I put a colon. Otherwise, I was correct, okay? So, I skip a level. All right, so let's jump to the next level. It's the same thing. They want us to find a relationship. This time, it's not going to be quite as easy. So, they're at 6, and it's turning into 54. And you're maybe like, I'm not sure. Is that 9? 7 to 63. Oh, yeah, I think that's 9. Well, I always go to the easy one first. 10 times what? 9, and then check it. 9 times 9. Yes. So it's going to be, I'll try not to hit the wrong button. 9x. Submit. Good work. Good job, Mr. Douglas. Okay, and here they're doing times 5, right? You can see the patterns, right? You're looking to see what's happening between x and y. Do not focus on what's happening here or what's happening here. This a lot of times could look like additive, okay? We're wanting to see what's happening to x to change it into y. All right? So let's jump a level again. I'll just do a couple more problems and we'll be done, guys. Here's another chart. According to the values in the table, do x and y have a proportional relationship? So this is what I was just talking about. Now we have to prove yes or no, is it proportional? So what's happening in 5? It's staying as 5. 34 staying as 34. 39, 39, 41, 41. This is just like the very first problem we did. It's doing y equals x or y equals 1 times x. It is proportional. Now they're asking me to say what it is. It's going to be y equals x. Terrific. Okay, do one more because that was a little easy. Is it proportional? 25 turn into 21, 50 turn into 25, 75 turn into 29, and 100 turn into 33. You see any kind of pattern? Well, the first pattern I do recognize is that 25 is half of 50, but 21 is not half of that. 29 is not half of that. 33 is not half of that. So this one is not proportional, okay? So take your time. They'll try to trick you a little bit. Okay, I'm going to jump a level. Let's look at the next level. I don't want to do too many problems. You may get the same problems I showed you on here, some of them, okay? But I'm not doing a bunch of problems. I'm just giving you a couple examples. All right, so in this table, it's the same thing. Is it a proportional relationship? So 1 turns to 8. So that would be times 8. 3 times 8 is 24. Yep. 8 times 8 is 64. Yep. 8 times 12 is, in fact, 96. So I'm saying, yes, it is a proportional relationship. And what's happening to x? 8. Hey, quick reminder. 8 times what? No, that's not times. That's an x. That's a variable. That's the letter x. It represents an unknown. Okay? 8 next to an x means 8 times x. Anytime the number is directly sitting next to a letter or a parentheses, it means it's going to be multiplied times that variable, whatever you end up putting in there. So if I put a 10 in for x, then y would equal 80. If I put a 2 in for x, y would equal 16. Okay? All right. Yes, sir. All right, my score's at 82 now. So I'm going to jump to the next level, to the challenge level. And this is as hard as it gets, guys. Okay? Let's switch to purple. I got a purple marker. According to the values in the table, do they have proportional relationship? It's the same question. Let's see. 3 times 6 equals 18. Yes. So I got to try 6 on all of them. 5 times 6 is 30. Correct. Uh-oh. 24 times 6. I got to check it to make sure. That's 24, 12, 13, 14, 144. Check. And I got to do 72 times 6. 12, 42, 43, 432. Aha, yes. It is proportional relationship. And they're going to say, well, what's happening to y? And we already said it's 6 times x. Okay? Boom, 92. I've made master's level. All right, that's all there is to it, guys. It's going to get a little more in depth in the future ones, where we're going to end up having a beefy when there's a something to start with, a starting amount, and then we can graph them and compare them to word problems and all that. That's coming up later this week. We just reviewed that during our blitzes before spring break. All right, guys, God bless and protect you and your families. Love you, miss you. Cha-cha. Sorry, I didn't want to give you a couple shorter videos. I've been very busy and I had to enter grades, so I haven't had the time. I'll be silly the next day. Okay? Have a good one.